Hello, I am Larissa Thackeray. I am a virologist, someone who studies viruses. I am also a mother, a daughter, and a sister. Since the beginning of this year, my coworkers and I at Washington University School of Medicine, along with our colleagues at many universities in the United States and throughout the world, have been working long and hard hours to understand the biology of this new coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, and the disease it causes, COVID-19. We have also developed and validated drugs, therapies, and vaccines, many of which are in phase 3 clinical trials, and some may be available in the clinic soon. For you to understand who are virologists and what they do, I have started a podcast called Let's Meet the Virologists, in which I talk with students, postdocs, staff, and faculty who are researching SARS-CoV-2 and COVID-19. In this podcast, I ask virologists how they keep themselves, their family, their coworkers, and their community safe. Let's listen to what they have to say.
It is constant risk assessment, and I am really, really careful and mindful about it, and I encourage my family members to be as well.
The risk changes daily, and it really depends on what's going on in your area. Listen to your public health people. They're the ones who are staying on top of this. It's always a balance about safety and versus, living your life. Like my son is currently still in daycare, but our daycare is very small.
I just tell everyone every day almost to be very cautious.
There's being indoors is a lot more risky than being outdoors, because being outdoors, you have a lot more circulation of air. There's also, the sun is actually quite good at inactivating virus. So
I always use my sense, like where should I go, or what should I do, or what I should not do. Even if I have to go to grocery. So I think, is it really necessary, or can I order it online?
Will I come into contact with people that are very high risk? And I tried to avoid those situations completely. So for instance, I visited my parents, but I didn't stay with my parents. We sat outside. We sat 8 feet apart, which, is not ideal when I want, to spend a lot of time with my family, but.
We don't move around in the community much at all because it's not very safe. And so we use Zoom a lot, and we stay within the community here, masked and careful and so on. And we do a lot of Zoom work here. And we don't have groups bigger than 5, and we don't have meals together anymore here. It's been a complete change in culture here. It's very difficult.
Social distancing. We don't hang out with friends, and we don't go to bars, we don't go to restaurants. We have been hanging out with some friends socially distanced outside in small groups still. We're gonna skip holidays this year. So that's been really tough because my family is important to me. We're pretty close, and we do Zoom meetings, but it's, it's hard to not be physically present.
When you have bigger outbreaks, most of the time it was a wedding, and looking at the people at the wedding, it's understandable why. I mean, the music is loud, you talk close to each other, you talk to the bride and the groom, talk to everyone. So it's just very difficult, and so we decided against it.
I try not to go into restaurants. I do a lot of the deal dash and delivery. Wash your hands, clean, disinfect things regularly. Make sure if you start feeling sick, you stay home.
And my kids are staying at home, no school, which is really painful and hard time for all of us. And like the moment we decide to go out and they see the street, they become so excited and so happy.
Asymptomatic and pre-symptomatic transmission is a major factor for this virus. And so that's the justification for mask wearing.
In the lab, we always wear the mask, and we're lucky we have some space. We can keep the social distance.
So I've always had a mask.
So, and then I always keep reminding them, wear the mask properly. Because
what's more indicative of what's going on is the hospitalization rate. And so it's clear that, this is totally out of control again. We've decided that we're just not, going to be celebrating Thanksgiving with other people this year because, it just doesn't make sense at this point in the pandemic.
During the early of pandemic, I try to talk to all my neighbors in the neighborhood, try to convincing them that to wear a mask. I think right now, particularly for parents, we can start to feel kids are tired, parents are tired, and everybody looking to go back to a normal life. And as a scientist, we can working hard, but all the therapeutics, vaccine have their own timeline.
As we head into the holidays with cases and hospitalizations rising, we ask for your help. So what can you do?